Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Made You Book. My name's Gretchen and today I'm going to be talking about The Center by Ayesha Manazir Siddiqi. And first of all, I just have to say, I had a really good time with this book. And it's not my typical genre. It's kind of like mystery, thrillery, and not to say that I don't enjoy those books, but I definitely find myself leaning more toward literary works lately, and this was kind of, I think maybe why I enjoyed it so much, well, partly why I enjoyed it so much is it's just been such a different type of book from what I've been reading lately, and it was a really fun ride. So this book centers on our main character named Anissa, and she is kind of floating along through life. She has a career she's not really happy with. She has major dreams of being this great literary translator, and she just hasn't been able to get off the ground. What she's currently doing is she is a translator of subtitles for Bollywood films. So she just doesn't feel like that is what she wants to do for the rest of her life. And she's looking for a way in and a way to make her career dreams come true. Later on, we find her meeting a man by the name of Adam. And what immediately draws her to Adam is that Adam is fluent in several languages. And I can't remember the exact number, but I'm pretty sure he is fluent in well over 10 languages. So she's kind of like immediately drawn to that fact about him, and she quickly develops kind of feelings, and they get into a pretty stable relationship for a while. Now, as things start to get more serious, she starts to prod him about how he's learning all of these languages. He kind of chalks it up to him just being a very good linguist and having a great memory and, being able to pick up on languages easily. He kind of uses the excuse, well, once you learn one, the other ones become much easier. And she's just like astounded by his ability to do this. So their relationship starts to get more serious, and she decides that she and him are going to go to meet her parents, and they live in Pakistan. So she goes to Pakistan with Adam, and she is like astonished to realize that he has learned Urdu, which is her native language. And this just like completely throws her off guard because she has tried him saying that he has been such a quick learner of languages. She's tried to teach him her language and has never been able to get it to stick. So then now all of a sudden he is fluent in it. She starts to have a lot of questions. So it finally comes out that Adam is not as good as learning languages as he makes it out to be. He actually has been going to this place called the Center that guarantees fluency in learning a language within 10 days of your stay. And the other thing that Adam tells her is that it is invite only, and the catch to this center is not only is it super expensive to go, but you are only ever allowed to tell one other person in your life about the center and what it does. So she has a ton of questions. She wants to know more about what happens there. And basically, he gives her enough details to make her interested, but not enough to tell, all of the secrets of the center. So he refers her, and eventually their their relationship starts to be a little strained, and she decides that she is going to go ahead and take the leap and go to the center herself to see what it is all about. And of course, all is not as it seems, and it's not as simple as paying the money and getting the language for the price that you're paying. There's definitely more to meets the eyes, and there's definitely a bigger price that one has to pay in order to make that happen. And I just thought that the concept of this book was so interesting. I haven't really read anything like this before as far as like the actual plot goes, but I would say as I was reading it, I was kind of getting like certain vibes, and the the kind of vibes that I was kind of getting, and this is probably going to sound weird, but it's kind of like if Ottessa Moshfegh and Joseph Conrad, like when he wrote Heart of Darkness, co-authored a novel. Like that is just kind of the vibes that I got from this. It's definitely dark. It's definitely sinister. It's one of those books where you know that something is making you feel uneasy and unsettled, and you know that when the reveal comes that it's going to be shocking. Now, one thing that I will say that I was kind of disappointed in this book about is that obviously we learn all of the secrets of, well, I shouldn't say obviously, you don't know that, you haven't read it, but we do learn the secrets of everything that's going on at the center. And I have to say that the lead up was fantastic, and it was a page turner, and I kept wanting to find out more and more. But like when we got to the point of the reveal, I was expecting it to be more dramatic. Now, I'm not saying that the reveal wasn't shocking or interesting. It definitely was, but it was just like, I don't know, it was just kind of woven into a normal conversation, and it was like a very unassuming conversation. And after after the reveal happened, you were just kind of like, okay, well, tell me more, because I know that there's got to be more to this. And to me, I wish that it would have just given me a little more when it came to that. But regardless, it was still a good reveal, and it was still a really fun story. It was darkly humorous, which I always appreciate. There was definitely some parts of this that made me very uneasy, very uncomfortable. And another thing, and I'm still on the fence about whether or not I liked this or whether I didn't. So part of why I mentioned Ottessa Moshfegh earlier is I think the last time that I read a book where I absolutely hated the main character was My Year of Rest and Relaxation. Now, I loved that book, but I hated the character. I'm trying to decide whether or not I hate this character or whether or not I just maybe don't agree with her on some of the things. I love a good unlikable narrator, but she just seemed to be extremely self-centered, and the way that, to me, it seems like she had a lot of opportunities in her life, and she took a lot of them for granted. She had the means, she had the she had the privilege and she had the opportunity to be able to take her career to the next level and to be able to work on herself to do the things that she wanted to do. But she just didn't apply herself. And she also just seemed like she wasn't really willing to take criticism from other people, which is, unfortunate, because not being able to take criticism led to her kind of being a little isolated and her not having the greatest relationships with people. So although I really liked the plot of this story, it was fast paced, it was a page turner. I would say that I was a little deflated by the reveal, and her character was just not one that I was rooting for or cheering for. But maybe that was part of the point. Maybe we weren't really supposed to like her or empathize with her. As a matter of fact, I found myself more drawn to Adam as a character. I would have liked to have learned more about him and how he stumbled upon the center and maybe his experience, because to me he seemed like a more genuinely good person. And I feel like one of the other things that this book does is it does touch on race. I mentioned before that Anissa is Pakistani and Adam was white, and I think that privilege was kind of implied with Adam, but Adam had to work much harder for things in his life, and he kind of resented Anissa for that a lot. So I think that I would have been happy to maybe hear the story from his perspective as opposed to Anissa, but regardless, it was a fun ride, and I would recommend this. It did definitely have kind of horror elements to an extent, like nothing super, super scary, but it was disturbing. And I did mention Heart of Darkness for a very specific reason, why I got vibes from that. So if you're familiar with that book, that might kind of give you an idea of like what was playing out, or like kind of like that just kind of overarching, just something wicked is happening in the background kind of thing, and that uneasiness that you feel while you're along for the ride. So yeah, I gave this I think I gave it a 4 in Goodreads, only because you can't do half stars. I would probably say this is a good 3.5 stars. I'll definitely read other books from this author. I really liked the way that the story was presented. Like I said, it was very darkly humorous. I love books that are like that, ones that don't take themselves too seriously, but on the same hand are having their characters go through very serious things. And I had a really good time with this. I think that it's definitely worth a read. It's not gonna, rock your world or blow your mind. But it's a solid book, and yeah, I would recommend it if you kind of like that thriller, kind of light horror type book. So have any of you read The Center? Have you ever read anything by Joseph Conrad or Atessa Moshfegh? If you did read this book and you kind of agree with my combo of what the book kind of made me feel or what kind of vibes it was giving. This was also a book from my end of the year tag, so I am chugging along with that. I've actually completed a few more from that list, and I'll have reviews for those coming out very soon. I also finally finished my last book or prize book, so I think that's probably going to be my next review. So yeah, so until the next time I see you, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye!